What is going on, guys? So today we're going to be learning how to save our leader stats that we made yesterday. Before we start that though, if you haven't seen that video, I recommend you go watch it so that you're up to speed with everyone else. If you don't feel like watching that, that's fine. If you already know how to make leader stats and make values, that's fine. This data store will save more than one. I will show you how to do that here in a moment. Right now the game's only set up to increment one, so we're going to start with that one, and while we're doing that one, I'll show you the other one. Before we start, I need all of you to go up to File, go to your game settings, go to Security, and enable Studio access to API services and allow HTTP requests. The reason for that is so that you can actually use the data store. If you haven't allowed those, you can't use the data store inside the studio. You can only use it in the game, which will make it really difficult for you to test and do other things like that. So go ahead and turn it on, and it'll work a lot better. I actually don't know for a fact if you can even use it in a game without using it in Studio 2. Feel free to test it on your own time. I've never tried, but by all means, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to need to go ahead and get the DataStoreService so that we can access data stores. Get service, DataStoreService. After that, we're going to go ahead and create a locals inside of our table of contents here. If you don't know what I mean by table of contents, every script that you ever make, I highly recommend y'all do this. It'll help you for backtracking through scripts that you haven't looked at in years, so on and so forth. Next thing we're going to need a key or our actual data store. We can call this our data store, right? DataStoreService, get data store, and this is whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it test, okay? But this is just what you want to name your data store. This is also kind of like the filing cabinet. You think of DataStoreService as the warehouse, the data store is the filing cabinet, and then we're going to also need a key for that filing cabinet. So we're going to set that up after we save. Now to start saving it, we're going to come down here and we're going to do players.player removing connect function. And as you can see, I talked about this last time. I'll talk about it again. I might talk about it in one more video, and then I'm going to shut up about it. But something's passed here on the connect, which is the same thing that's passed up here. And you can tell by that colon there, it is a player instance. In fact, I'll use that in the script so you can actually see how it works too. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to set up a local, and we're going to call this toStore. And you're going to turn that into a table or a dictionary, or you could also do an array if you really want to. I highly recommend you do a dictionary so that you can actually give it names. That's just me, but if you just want to use numbers, then use an array. So I'm going to call this taps. And what you name this is actually kind of important to the rest of the script. The reason for that you'll see inside of once we get to the player added area, but this is kind of important doing this part right here, naming it. Above that though, we're going to go ahead and get the leader stats. So local leader stats equals player.leader stats. Right, and now taps is going to be our leader stats dot, and I believe I also named this taps too, which is why I named that one taps dot value. You need to get the value of your number value so that you can save that. You cannot save a number value. It is too big for Roblox to save, but you can save an actual number. There are size restrictions. You can save numbers, strings, booleans, and things like that, but you cannot save the whole folder or anything of that nature. Now down here, we're going to do a local success error equals pcall function. Now let's talk about this for a second. What a pcall is it's saying, hey, this might be kind of finicky to do, Roblox, but I need you to do it, so I'm going to protect my script from breaking, and I just want you to send an error message and a true or false statement if it actually went through. So your success is a true or false statement, and your error message is whatever errored. And as you can see, if we come over here, inside of here, you'll see it starts with a boolean. So I'm just go ahead and add a few commas to get to the next part. Well, I guess it's not going to let me do that. Maybe I have to do it in here. Nope. Okay. But runs the provided function and catches any error it throws, returning the function success and its results. Right? So this will give me a boolean and it'll give me results. All right. So this will be your boolean. This will be your results. I think I've hit that enough. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do data store set async. Now our key is whatever you want to use to call back this memory. I always use the player.user ID. Other people use different things. You could use the name, you could use the user ID. I use the user ID because it's never going to change. The user can change their name whenever they want. Now the value we're going to set is our dictionary over here. If you want to add more values, you're just going to come to the end of this .value, give it a comma, set more names. We could do hello equals a string of hello, right? And that's all you need to do to start saving. Now to load it, we're going to need to do a few things. First thing we're going to do is what's called initializing a variable. So we're just going to type out the variable and we're going to leave it blank. We're not going to give it any value. That's just telling the code that, hey, this variable exists. Right now it is nil. Later it may not be nil. All right. And we're going to do another pcall function. So local success, comma error equals pcall function. And you can name these whatever you want to. I always do success and error because it helps out. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our data. So data equals data store, get async, and just our key is going to be needed. We're going to get the async of whatever we put it in there. So again, we're going to the filing cabinet and I want to get whatever file is under user ID. All right. So we're going to come down here. We're going to go below these two, below folder and our number and anything else we set up. And we're going to do if success. So we're actually going to check and make sure that this is true. And data doesn't equal nil, so it's not a new player. That is a dash. I need an equals. There we go. Then, and we're going to go ahead and set our number value. Number.value equals data taps. And just for the sake of showing everyone else, we're going to go ahead and print data hello. Now, the way we're going to call this is very important. So data has just become a dictionary. And inside of dictionaries, you also have keys for information. So what I did was I pretty much made a dictionary, which is down here. You can see toStore is our dictionary, just like the user ID is a dictionary. Well, not a dictionary, but just like the DataStore is kind of a dictionary. I set up a user ID. I gave a value and name of taps, and I called that as a string. So I could tell the script, hey, this is what I want inside of my dictionary. And I can even print off hello by printing data hello. We'll change it to goodbye. All right. So now the first time I play, I should get 0 as a start because I don't have any data, right? I just got 0. Check my errors, no errors. We'll go ahead and get, I don't know, let's just do like 2. We'll do 2. And we'll hit stop. And then I will hit play. And as you can see, I loaded in with 2 taps. Now, I highly recommend everyone go to the plugins on Roblox and get DataStore Editor. What this will let you do is it'll let you actually edit data stores. So I did test, right? I can list my keys, go to this, hey, it says 2. Also, just so y'all see, it did actually print off goodbye. But now I can come into here, right? And I can change this to 10,000. Close that off. Actually, I don't think I saved that. Sorry, guys. It's been a minute since I've dealt with this, but it's very helpful. Yeah, I didn't save it. I can go ahead and do 10,000. Hit enter. And a little save icon appears. Hit that save. Close that. Hit play. Go through. Go ahead and get here. And as you can see, I'm at 10,001 now because I touched it once, twice, and 3 times. But guys, that's how you go ahead and save some data inside of your data stores. Pretty simple, short video. I know, I'm sorry, but this is a pretty easy complex. And if you have any troubles, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'll reach out to you and see if I can help you out. All right, guys. Well, you'll have a good night.